Some people mistakenly believe that a new world order would allow greater freedom to do whatever we decide upon. This claim is false. In fact, Mughals plan on monitoring all activity, such as food intake, emissions, personal affairs, theology, and education. However, others insist that globalization would give us the opportunity to travel wherever we please. Maybe this is why some embrace the idea. But I have a question for you. If we lived in a world with open borders, wouldn't this only benefit those who are seeking to expand poverty and third world lifestyles?
Now, let's suppose there was unlimited travel between Pakistan and the Ukraine. It would only take one generation before the population in the Ukraine became predominantly Muslim. And the physical demographics would be equally affected within one lifetime. Perhaps this explains why the globalists are pushing for open borders, even though they otherwise plan on restricting every aspect of our lives. Sadly, some people don't care just because they're not being targeted. But the New World Order will eventually attack every person on Earth.
I could give another example. If there were open borders throughout the African continent, the North region would quickly be overwhelmed by Central Africa.
It's interesting to note that various contradicting reasons are given to support the globalist agenda. For one, they claim strict laws are needed in order to prevent wasteful consumption. This is the main case for those who support a one-world government. It's supposed to save our environment. But in truth, globalization has produced the opposite effect. Overpopulated countries are migrating into regions where existing peoples practice responsible family planning. Thus, as a result, their resources have been stressed beyond sustainable measures. Therefore, globalization cannot be considered a valid measure to preserve our natural resources. Instead, these policies have led to massive growth in world population.
Globalists also claim that different peoples should learn to coexist. And a new world order would prevent future wars. However, most conflicts throughout the world are the result of civil unrest. And there's no reason to believe this would change. Also, many cultures should be appreciated. But globalization would produce the opposite effect. In short, people can admire their differences without being forced to share the same space.
One main issue supporting the New World Order pertains to its supposed stability. But, once again, it seems to promote civil unrest. And, as a matter of fact, the true goal is to induce riots, food shortages, poverty, and destruction of our social infrastructure. This documentary has given just a few examples of why this tyranny must be stopped. If you wish to ponder upon additional possibilities, then do your own research. You'll quickly learn that most Mughals behind this conspiracy are extremely wealthy and powerful.
We must clarify misconceptions. There's nothing wrong with global cooperation. So, we're not opposed to the United Nations peacekeeping missions, or any minor involvement. These issues should not be confused. Would you like to share any final thoughts?
One final thing should be addressed. In the distant future, globalists will begin using genetic manipulation in order to reshape social order. This is why you must look ahead to the true goals. It's not a benevolent government aimed to bring peace and prosperity. Instead, they plan to completely unravel our entire existence.
Today, wealthy cabals are trying to create a worldwide dictatorship. Yet, few people take this problem seriously. One reason is because admittedly, some conspiracy theories are somewhat unrealistic. But, since the inception of communism, their goal has been global conquest. So, what makes you think the threat has suddenly gone away? If anything, current efforts are far worse than any previous attempt. In the past, military cartels would occupy neighboring regions. But, these conquered territories still held on to their cultural identity. Yet, today's elitists have discovered the most effective way of destroying nations. Mughal tyrants are planning to gut them out, from within. It's somewhat surprising that more people haven't noticed this. Perhaps, a primary reason is because mainstream media has kept us misinformed. Therefore, few realize the sheer magnitude of our dilemma. Perhaps this means that journalists are hugely responsible for the crisis.
It's somewhat controversial to suggest, but the elitists are possibly trying to eliminate the brightest individuals first. This is why Mughals target against advanced nations, even those who are already stressed by high population densities. But the globalists want to completely erase the more sophisticated cultures. They assume that no one else is capable of stopping them. Perhaps those who are not immediately affected should learn why global tyrants are not particularly worried about your impact. But eventually, all humanity will be affected. We're hoping that various cultures will unite against this tyranny and show the conspirators that you're a lot smarter than given credit for. Do this for your grandchildren's sake.